Hey everyone, today I just wanted to talk a little bit about building connection through everyday interactions. So, I sometimes hear people, especially in the group, who say that they might spend time with each other, but that time might not feel very connecting, or they might decide to go out on a date and it's meant to be fun, but it just turns out awkward or tense. The difference between these situations and the ability to effectively connect and meet emotional needs is often a matter of consistency and expectation. It might be easy to look at this sort of situation, to look at connection and say, okay, I meet the needs of my spouse. I go for walks with them to connect. I go out on dates to have some variety and fun. I fix his meals. I care for the children. I got my bases covered. And I'll be the first one to say that those things are great. But by themselves, it doesn't actually consistently meet that need for connection. And I want you to imagine for a moment, maybe you and your husband or wife, you've been feeling like you've been drifting apart. You occasionally go out together, but maybe you don't really enjoy each other's company that much. While out, you either sit in silence, or maybe perhaps there's enough tension between the two of you that it makes the outing awkward or tense or just uncomfortable. And with this sort of history, it's not surprising then to be met with resistance when asked to go out again, or maybe not even just resistance, but some apathy or indifference. And what happens is those interactions tend to fall off because they stopped being rewarding. What if instead, given the same sort of history of tension and uncomfortable interactions, your spouse met you at the door when you came home, excited to see you? What if they asked with interest about your day, asking for details, and they told you with some happiness about plans to take you out to someplace that you've been looking forward to go? They're going to take you there that evening. While out, they gave you their undivided attention, and they laughed with you, and they told you how much they enjoyed being there with you, and maybe they even talked about the places that they wanted to go next time. And then maybe they even flirtatiously gave your butt a little squeeze or whatever. They just flirted with you in some way. I mean, that would feel amazing, right? The difference is clear between that situation and the previous one I gave, and it's all because the moments were infused with little bits of love that spoke to various emotional needs. Asking for your day and showing your attention gave to that need of feeling significant and understood and valued. Being excited and flirting and laughing and while taking you out to someplace fun, it really spoke to that need for some variety and fun in life. Excuse me. Talking about the future plans even. That really speaks to a need for certainty. I mean, if you have plans together, things are secure, right? And it's all without having to do anything grand here. It was simply by infusing little moments with loving actions and loving words. And I'll tell you, it's not enough. It's not enough just to go to work and provide, even if that does provide for security in a relationship. And it's also not enough, for instance, to let your husband or wife take a class so that they can grow. It's not enough to, to take care of the home, to take care of the kids, because it's about all those moments in between and during that count, much more than specific targeted actions or even routine actions. So, what does build connection then? And this is what we're here for. I mean, what can we do to build connection? It's all about the little things added up between your body language, your tone, the things that you say, and the things that you do. So here I just have a sampling of some tips that you can do with each of these things. Let's start with body language, for instance. Just like this, sampling of tips here. There's a lot that you can communicate based on how you hold your body and what you do with your body, what you do with your eyes, with your face. One quick tip here is to just touch when you talk. A lot of older adults, they're touch deprived. They don't receive a lot of physical contact. You think about most people who go and work in an office. I mean, just by its very nature, most offices are not really, it's not really a touchy-feely environment, right? Even people who might stay at home with children or take care of the house, it's not really, you might cuddle with kids, sure, but a lot of the times, I don't know, I have children myself, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes it's just, you need kind of more of that gentle, soothing touch. Even long married couples and family members living in close quarters can really fall out of the habit of basic touch. Yet, touch is vital. It's reassuring, it's connecting, and it's calming. So you might try putting your hand on your loved one's back or on their knee as you talk. It doesn't have to be long-lasting to make a difference or to improve the mood. And what I mean by this is improve the mood not just for them, but for both of you. If there's tension between you and your partner, I mean, you can start small, you can start simple, just a simple touch on the arm as you start up a conversation, for instance, or a brief hand on their back as you call their attention to something. That would be fine. But other types of touch, that might be more sexual in nature, probably might have a negative effect, especially if sex is unwanted at that time. As far as things to say, there's little things that you can add into your conversation. One of the many things that I suggest adding into conversation are words of validation. And these are all the little things that we can say to confirm that a situation is going well. For instance, you could be sitting together and you might turn to your wife and say, I really enjoy being here with you. Or maybe while you're out at a restaurant, especially if your husband, for instance, picked the restaurant, you might say, I'm so glad that you chose this place. The food here is absolutely fantastic. And these words of validation are simply pointing out what's going well in the moment. And basically what you're doing here is you're stacking up evidence that things are going well. And this is important because how we perceive things really has a big effect on how we feel and how we act around each other. And so as you're consistent with building up evidence that things are going well, there's more ease, there's less tension, there's more comfort, there's more enjoyment between you and your spouse. The key here is genuine expression without any ulterior motive. So if your intention is saying something is to rebuild the relationship or to win your spouse back, that intention is going to show through and it's going to seem less genuine, disingenuous. Similarly, if your attempt at saying these words, if you're just saying, this is going so well, and you have a flat affect, no emotion, and flat tone, without any real application to the situation, it's also going to lose some of its sincerity, especially if you repeat the same sort of statements over and over again. So things like this is going so well, if you say that a lot, and you're not applying it you're not being specific, it's not going to mean as much. Mostly, though, if you're simply expressing joy or satisfaction of the moment, you'll probably be on the right path. Third, things that you can do to infuse love into your life. People are looking for things that you do to show care and affection. People look for that a lot. You might say, okay, well, I go to work, don't I? Or I cook, or I clean, or I watch the kids, or any number of these time-consuming tasks that happen every day. So why don't these sort of actions show your partner the love that they're looking for? It's not because they're ungrateful most of the time. You know, I imagine if you take those things away, they'd probably get really upset. But I want you to imagine for a moment. If I gave you $10,000 right here, I mean, that'd be pretty great, right? So now how about if I gave you $10,000 every day? Or maybe even I gave you $10,000 multiple times a day. It would start to lose some of its special quality fairly quickly. You know, the first time it'd be amazing and great. Maybe the second, third time it would be really wonderful. And then, you know, as it becomes expected and routine, and as I get more and more of it, it tends to lose its value. It's the same with our everyday actions here. They still mean a lot to our partner. It would hurt if they're taken away, but people become accustomed to those things. So how can you give more love through your actions? So one tip here is to do something unexpected. You know, I could ask my wife to make me my favorite meal, but if she did it without me asking, wouldn't that mean something more? Similarly, she could ask me to watch a romantic chick flick with her. But what if I picked one out ahead of time and I had it ready when we were sitting down for the evening? I actually got snacks ready. I was excited about watching this with her. It's those moments where your wife shows up in lingerie, or maybe your husband brings home flowers. Those moments of unexpected love that really mean a lot. So I'm going to leave this open just for a moment for questions. But if, you know, I'll sit here for about 30 seconds or so. If you enjoyed today's content, you know, you can let me know. And, you know, I just want you to also look out in the coming weeks, next week or two, when we actually make all of our full trainings, you know, we make them available at some new affordable prices. I know people have been looking for ways to get some support from us. So we're listening. We're looking to get these trainings out to you. So like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. And I'll make myself available here. If not, you can certainly leave questions in the comments. I'll be paying attention to this, you know, as always, and I can answer some of them there. Thanks for watching.